Now we're live. Jesus Christ. Y'all, we've been talking for like 3 minutes. Um, Bearded Bros Golf Show back at it again. This is Rod.
And Marcus.
Thought we had a slow week going, but we didn't. We had the Grant Thornton going on this week, a really successful event, the mixed event between the PGA Tour and LPGA. The teams, list seems to be getting more extensive with each passing year. This event has taken on a number of different identities. I forgot to mention that the first time we went through this with no one watching, but this used to be like the shootout, which was like an end of the year event, which was
Yeah.
ironically hosted by Greg the Shark Norman. So it's evolved. I think it used to be called the QBE Shootout way back in the day when it originally came out. So now it's a mixed event. Very fun event. We've had, Tony Finau pull out of his second event in a week. He was, scheduled to play with Melly Korda, ended up pulling out. She didn't do quite as well with Daniel Berger, not quite the equivalent. And again, just it seems to be a lot of excitement amongst both the men and the women as the list gets longer. What do you think about the event?
Yeah, I mean, overall, it was a great week. Like I was telling Rod in our, just our personal messages, it was just a magical week. I felt like it was a lot of fun and exhilarating golf, and you saw that from both sides. You saw a lot of dominating from the men's side, but you also saw a lot of finesse. You saw a lot of accuracy from the women. I mean, pretty much both tours showed why they were exciting, if you ask me. I mean, we saw, especially out of the winners, we saw Jake Knapp with just the full on length pause. And then we saw Patty Tavatanakit with just, an immaculate touch around the green. I mean, whether that
Hmm.
be her pitching and chipping, but I mean, clearly the flat stick was just going for 3 straight days. I mean, it was unreal the putts that she was making. I really had a fun time watching it. I tried to catch as much of it as I can, uh, as a as I could, and I pretty much watched the final round probably the 3 times on the rerun. So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
definitely
they've
was
been
enjoying it.
yeah, they have been playing that back to back quite a bit since
Absolutely,
yesterday evening.
for sure. So I definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, I unless you were able to catch the Golf Central kind of pregame stuff, they went on to primary TV at like hole number 8 for the leading group, so that kind of sucked for primetime viewing. But of course, they're competing with football. But again, I had it on record because we were out and about, but definitely enjoyed watching it, and even off the tee, because the ladies were playing from a different tee box than the men. Patty's one of the longer players, and with them, playing up against Gino and Tom Kim the last day, those two ladies are very long off the tee, so definitely
Yeah.
putting on the show and showcasing their talent. And really, something that we've talked about all year is how strong the ladies' game is, and just that they have a really, a big dearth of talent. Not to, throw not throw under the bus, but forget Jennifer Kupcho. Actually, played pretty well with her playing partner, Akshay Bhatia as well. So they had a chance in the final day. So, really showcasing what the women have to offer. Really deep, and there were really some compelling teams. Saw that Lydia Ko and Jason Day had a really good time out there. Again, the Australian connection, and Australian and New Zealand connection. But they
Hmm.
really enjoyed it, and you can just tell that this is a fun kind of just camaraderie for the two different leagues coming together. I will say that I just, Tom Kim being Tom Kim, I didn't like how he kind of finished on on 18, as if they really had a chance to win it. But his attitude, coming off his downhill putt that he, pushed it past, it really didn't even matter at the end of the day. They lost by 2 strokes, but he was
Right.
typical kind of pouty Tom Kim, so he's not going to shake his reputation anytime soon, given how he continues to act out there. But either way, cool seeing Patty T and Jake Knapp win it. We're gonna go through her what's in the bag here in just a bit, which we went over Jake Knapp's what's in the bag earlier this year. So that's up on the channel. And when this posts tomorrow and YouTube uploads the final version, I'll put that in the clip so y'all can go reference that, or it's in our What's in the Bag playlist on the channel as well. So go check that out about Jake Knapp. Not much has changed in his bag. I did note that he was playing the G4 Ping G425 still. He hasn't migrated to the last we now have a new version of the uh the G series, and he didn't even move
Yeah.
into the 430. So still found something that he liked. I think he was also playing a PXG mini driver. So a couple of changes to his bag since we saw him earlier in the year, but wanted to highlight Patty T's bag. She's definitely one of the top women in the game. So any other thoughts that you have before we move on to that?
Um, yeah, I mean, Atthaya Tentacle, Gino Titikul, really put it on display again. I mean, she is just not far away from really dominating the tour. If not for Nelly, I think she really would have had, just a stellar season. But you saw it in the end. She still won the $4 million. She still won the race to the globe. So she still did what she was supposed to do. But overall, I mean, Jennifer Kupcho showed up. Um, I think I think I think she's putting herself on display for a good season in 2025. But we'll see. We'll see
Upcho.
how it goes. But I mean, overall, they played a course that they played before. So a lot of the ladies really knew what to do, how to play the course, how it was going to go down. So, they were really kind of, really just drilling into the PGA, how to play it, where to go, and things like that. So, I really thought it was just a good format. The four ball on Friday, and then, you really toss in a reach in it, and then you do the alternate shot on Saturday. So, for Patty and Jake to shoot a 66 on
Yeah.
alternate shot, that's tough sledding. But then for them to come back and really go down and shoot a 64 on the last day with that the modified four ball, I thought that was a really unique system. They teed off, and then from there they played their partner's tee ball into the green. I thought that was exciting. I thought that was different. And again, with this being a mixed field event, I think that's something that they should, kind of not really, I don't know the word for it, but really, like, I think they should kind of put that on display more. Feel like that's something
Oh,
that
like
they
some
should
different
kind of.
formats.
Right. I think they should brag about that a little bit more because again, just something new, just something that we don't see every
Right.
week, something that we don't really get to see from week to week on the PGA because there's only one team event. And then on the LPGA, there's only one team event as well. I mean, we don't see the Solheim every week, and every year. We don't see the Ryder Cup every year. So something that we haven't seen. Again, just something to get our eyes
I think it
um
brings,
on
you
golf.
mentioned that. I think it brings back into play something that we talked about a couple months ago with the President's Cup, that that could be a possibility of making that a mixed event. And I think the more successful we see these Grant Thornton events turning out to be, I would love, I mean, that's really the point of that, and the title of today's video is that more of this is a good thing to me. And
Yeah,
we talked about it a couple months ago that that could be an option. Do we bring this format into the President's Cup? Because honestly, up until this year, President's Cup was really good this year, particularly day two, first one and two, right? But if we mixed in the ladies with something competitive, had a twist on it, I think this could do really well. To be real with you, either way, if we don't go that direction and put it in the President's Cup, I would just like to see maybe another one event throughout the year with the ladies and the men. Either way, just because I think it really showcases the best of both leagues. So
yeah,
I'm in favor of however we can get more of this because it was just
Yeah,
really fun.
I think we got to go again. Like I said the last time we brought this up, let the President's Cup be the President's Cup, and let us really just. I think there's just too much revenue in the game of golf, especially on both sides with the traction that both sides are gaining, the deal that the PGA got, the social media tricks and things that the LPGA is doing, and actual really good for golf pertaining to the women. I think they need to just create more mixed field events. I think we need to have, again, we have the Solheim Cup, we have the Ryder Cup, that's every 2 years. We have the President's Cup, it's every 2 years. We need to have something that's every other year for the women again. But if that be a mixed field event, then yeah, but let's create something new. Again, I don't think we should take away from the history of something that's already been, happening. I don't think, not saying that it's getting trodden on or anything like that, but I think there's definitely just way too many avenues for us to create different events. There's 52 weeks in the year. We're only going, 40 to 45 or so weeks out of the year. There's somewhere where there's going to be golf being played, and there's somewhere where there's going to be money being made playing golf. Why not
Hmm.
create another event and another week where we can have something on TV and just make it a mixed field event? That way we're up to two. Even if what if we did a mixed field match play event? Would that not be gas? I think that would be something that we could get into.
Yeah,
Just
I know you've been rallying for match play. I know since we lost a
you
couple
know how
years
I
ago.
am, right? I wish that more people believed in match play. It is a battle of one hole per per.
Yeah,
We're not worried about the 18. We're worried about what's going on right now. It's shot for shot. Okay, you made a birdie. I need to make a birdie. However, it may happen. You made a par. I need to get up and down somehow to make a par as well. We need to have this hole, or I need to go get you down. I mean, I think that's just one of the most exciting games that we have. And Ryder Cup, Solheim Cup shows that every year that we get to watch it. It's just so exciting to watch. You don't have to worry about a true score. You're worried
yeah,
about the one individual score. And sometimes, just like what happened with Nelly Corda and Charlie Hull, you really shoot a crazy number and beat somebody's ass in a Ryder Cup in a match
right.
play. So I think it's having news for both. That's all I'm saying, Roddy. You know me.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think there's a number of different ways. I know we're not going to see it next year. There's still more to happen with this whole PGA Live thing to get figured out, but if it's something that both leagues could definitely take advantage of, we've talked about LPGA has been on the upward swing for the last 3 years, really taking advantage of the social media and just their popularity, growing popularity. As women's sports has just gained a lot more traction. Definitely not where the men's game is for sure. And the PGA Tour
Yeah.
has made some productive moves over the last, I would say, 6 months. I wouldn't say the full year because they were still struggling going into this season, with speculation about players still leaving, etc. But yeah, I think both leagues are on the upswing. Definitely, the ladies have a higher, one they have a higher ceiling to go, so there's more room for
Right.
them to go up, and this could be kind of some additive things for the men as well. So, and rising tide lifts all boats. So we'll see. Let's get into this Patty Tavatanakit. What's in the bag? So I'm going to pull this up.
Yeah.
This is Patty. The picture on our main feed's a little bit better, but excuse me, on the thumbnail for today. But let's pull this. This is her bag. She is a Titleist staffer, um, Adidas apparel,
Through
which
and
we'll get
through,
to
huh?
again. Yeah, through and through. No breaks in the game or in the bag there. So she's, I think she goes back and forth quite a bit. So I thought I saw a couple of drivers in her bag. She still plays the GT3, I believe. Every once in a while, she'll switch that back in and out. But playing the TSR2 at 8 degrees this week, with the Mitsubishi Tensei 1K Blue and the 50 gram stiff. So the Tensei shaft is one that we've seen in other ladies' bags. Nelly um, has a couple of Tenseis in her bag as well, and one we
Yep.
reviewed about a month ago. I can't remember which young lady it was, but you see this pretty consistently. This is the shaft that I play, not in my driver. I play the orange in my driver, and when we get a couple of clubs down, we'll talk about some similarities there. Any comment here?
Yeah, I'm guessing she went TSR2, 8 degrees this week because wide fairways, just trying to hit big drives, just trying to get it down the fairway as far as possible. Um, I mean, I don't know, bro. I like the Tensei Blue. The Tensei Blue really has taken over for me as far as my 3 wood shaft. Or I'm sorry. My hybrid shaft. My 3 wood shaft
Mm,
is still a Raging Cajun shaft, but I really do enjoy the Tensei Blue. I have mine in X stiff, 75 grams, and I have mine tipped an inch, and it feels amazing when I do have it. But the shaft that I have currently in my 3 wood plays very similar to that as far as flight, distance, and it's just something that I've had in my bag for multiple years. So that's why I keep it in. But I have a Tensei Blue in my office just in case, and then I have that Tensei Blue, the very same 1K, um, and I have it tipped an inch, X stiff, 75 grams in my hybrid shaft. And I
I
mean, it
don't.
is the best thing that has happened to that.
Yeah, I don't like it necessarily in the driver. It's
Right.
the blue is a spinny shaft. You get a lot more revs with it, so I think it's useful in woods and or your 3 wood, 5 wood hybrid. But I don't necessarily love it in the driver. Maybe
Yeah.
she has a unique swing profile with her driver where she wants more spin. I do not like it. I felt like when I was playing the blue in my driver, I was losing yardage and it was not rolling out in the fairway. So I would love
Yeah.
to hit more
Right.
of a knuckleball. So that's why I've been playing the orange and have flirted with moving to the white as well. In her 3 wood, the TSR2 again at 15 degrees, with the Mitsubishi Diamana whiteboard shaft at 63 grams stiff again.
Hmm.
Not surprising. I mean, the Diamana is also making a bit of a comeback. We've seen a lot of
Yeah.
players this year playing with the new Diamana, so good on them. For not just laying down and accepting defeat in the shaft game. So again, this shaft is becoming kind of repopularized this year. And so here we go again, the TSR2 and her 5 wood, and there's that 1K white. Again, interesting mix. Usually we see the white or not in a 5 wood or hybrid, but here she is. Maybe she likes to hit it off the tee every once in a while. Again, this is the lowest spinning version of the Tensei lineup. The orange is
Yeah.
kind of in the middle. The white is a super low spin. And also the weighting is not super surprising, but I was expecting her to go a little heavier than her 3 wood. But she's found something or a combination that has worked for her. So that was an interesting,
Yeah, I
mix
think
with.
with the women though, I think they don't really need weight because they're not swinging it as fast as the PGA is. I think they want to get more, RPMs up. So I think that's why they typically stay towards that 50 to 60 range, even in, just like you saw in the driver. I mean, even Lydia Ko, as slight as she is, she's using a 50 gram. So
Right.
she's got a little bit of weight, but they want to swing fast. With
Yeah, it was
as technically sound as they are, they don't need any of that.
right, no doubt. And then we get into the irons. So she's got a, not a not a full combo set, but in her 4 iron, she's got the T200. A little bit more help coming from that iron. And then her 5 through pitching wedge, she's got the Titleist T100s with the
Yeah.
Nippon NS Pro. We've seen also the Nippon be super popular. I think Lydia was also, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to commit to that, but I remember someone else, some other lady player rocking the same Nippon shaft. So also becoming popular on both tours. We've seen this in a handful of bags throughout this year as well.
Yeah. I think I mean, clearly she's a hooper. I mean, for her to have a 4 iron still in her bag on the tour, that's saying a lot. We've all seen it because there's so many good ladies on the tour that are 4 hybrid, 5 hybrid,
Right.
6 hybrid, even,
Right.
or 6 wood and stuff like that, 25 degree, 7 heaven wood and stuff like that. So I think she's a hooper. For her to be playing the T100s instead of the T150s, again, doesn't need the help. And I think the Nippon NS Pro helps out a lot with that as well, because probably playing 115 or 110 or something like that. I don't think she's crazy enough to play the 120s or so. But Nippon NS Pro is going to take some spin off of the ball. It's going to come in a little bit more piercing. I think when you can control your trajectory, when you can control your spin, you're not really necessarily worried about high rev on a iron shaft. So they're typically trying to go for a low traj, and they're typically trying to go and take spin off the ball because they're already easily enough creating that.
Yeah, no doubt for sure on the creating speed. I'm looking up if I have her the pictures of the shaft. So let me keep it moving though. I'll come back to that. So not no surprise, she's playing the Vokey design SM10s. Coming latest and greatest from Titleist in a 50, 55, and a 60. And then the
Hmm.
Nippon NS Pro Modus wedge at 115 grams. So I think there's definitely some credence to what you were saying in regards to the weight on her irons in terms of they're probably a little bit lighter than that wedge shaft that she's using right there.
Yeah. 50, 55,
So
60. That's not something we normally see. What do you think about that?
I like it. Honestly, I'm always a little bit partial. So, funny story: the first set of clubs that I had was a hand-me-down set from our uncle, and it came with the 55-degree wedge. It was a set of Tommy Armour blades, and so I had gotten a 55-degree wedge in there. So every time I see a 55, always think it's interesting, but I don't hate it. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's able to be versatile with that 55, especially with the grind that she's utilizing. She can probably open that up, maybe square it up a little bit and do some different things with it to compensate. So I think she probably, the way I look at it, because one of my original Nike wedges had a similar grind. So I would do some kind of different things with it, kind of open it up, make it a 56, 57 sometimes, just to give it
Yeah.
a little more loft, or just again, toe down, make it square to get a little bit more yardage out of it and take a couple of degrees off. So I imagine she
Yeah.
does that to help, with her some of her gapping. But I also, in the ladies' game, don't think wedges are as crucial as they are in the men's game, where it's more bomb and gouge. So I don't think it comes into play as much, if that's, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. I think the M wedge is the most versatile wedge that Vokey has right now. And then I think the 60 with 4 degrees bounce, I think that's probably, what she uses around the green. Tight lies, Florida greens, and stuff like that, just so that she can have something that she knows she can pinch and not worry about having the club bounce up and thick or chubby it and stuff like that. So I think the main thing to me is the degrees, because usually, everybody else is really just 4 or so degrees, or even you've seen some that are like 50, 56, 58, with the 58 bent to like 59. You know how some
Yeah.
some guys are weird like that. But 50, 55, 60 is kind of crazy. I would like to see her go through and maybe do like a social media thing and do like her stock yardages or her carry yardages like Nelly has done for
Yeah.
TaylorMade. Maybe she could do that for Titleist and see what those yardages are looking like. I mean, she's a long hitter, so we want to know what she's hitting. Her 60 probably goes about 75, 80. 55 probably goes about 95, 100. 50 goes about 110, 115 or so. But other than that, I just think it's trippy to me because you don't see that every day. Well, we talked about
Oh,
that
I get
before,
it.
you know.
No, I get it. I think just seeing some different stuff. I mean, I get it. Like you're probably thinking, yeah, she should have a, typically you'd see a 58, right, to keep it tight. But
Yeah,
again, I trust that she knows what's best for her
she
game,
knows what
or
she's
has
doing.
has
Absolutely.
flipped changed it up. Um, Again, also she goes back and forth between putters as well. She has more of a it's a not a mallet style, but with the two tines in the back from Scotty Cameron that she also changes out every once in a while. But she's playing with this tour type square back 2 prototype, a little bit beefier than the
Yeah,
typical
that's the
Scotty
white
Newport
blade.
2. Yeah, I like
Hmm.
this one. I actually like
Me
this one
too.
a little bit. And also, they don't have the pictures on here, but I want to say she has the smooth face. There's no grooves on her putter, so she's just got the flat. No additional grooves or inserts on this putter. So that's an
Yeah,
interesting little tidbit.
low key as it may be. I mean, when you look at her bag, she's got the Circle T Tour, tour putter only head cover on there. So she's stunning a little bit on us. It's fine. I'm a little bit hurt, but that is a Circle T, and she really be hitting it. I mean, but
Right out the center every time.
golly, she was putting her face off.
Yep.
Lordy.
Then no surprises here. Tyler's Pro V1X. This is her marking with
Yep.
the just straight black line through the Titleist, and she also has the lineup line as well. So I like that. I like the alignment line utilization.
Yep.
And interesting shoe wear choice this week. So these were definitely noticeable. So I had to go look up. So this is the Adidas Rolling Link Superstar Spikeless. Again, unique. She is usually rocking Adidas. Typically, she wears like the more traditional looks, the more kind of sporty,
Like
not
the Tour
sporty.
360.
Yeah, yeah. So this was different for her, but I don't hate it. Here's why. I personally love a good flat base golf shoe. I feel like I have usually have one of my best rounds playing when I'm flat footed. So a lot of my shoes are based that way. Maybe she found something in this, so we'll see. Again, she changes out shoes quite a bit. When I was, kind of just looking back to see if she'd worn these before. This was the only picture that I could find with her wearing these particular shoes, and then other ones definitely showcased some variety. So I'm interested to see how long she sticks with these. And there are 4 different colorway choices with this particular shoe. They only had like this one, I believe, that had that kind of traditional little flap, kind of old school golf look on a modern shoe. But we'll see if she pulls these out next year as well. That's one thing to look for.
Yeah.
So that's Patty T's What's in the Bag. Congratulations to her and Jake Knapp. Again, I'll re-mention we did Jake Knapp's What's in the Bag earlier in the year. So go check that out. And this we'll add this one. I'll edit this one up and put it on the playlist as well. So any other random things from this week that you were from PGA, LPGA that you want to mention before we move on to some live
Um,
news?
I think, I mean, just once again, I think with like limited field events like this, I think they really could have did a better job of having the footage on, more players. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be frank. We saw. let's go through the groups. We saw very
I'll pull
little
it up here
of Gabby Ruffles and Nick Dunlap.
because
We
they
saw
finished dead
absolutely
last.
nothing. Yeah, we saw absolutely nothing of Mel Reed and Cam Champ. We
I saw
saw a
one. I
happy
saw
birthday.
one. I saw one clip of Cam Champ. He had chipped it in. So
Okay.
there's
We
that.
saw we saw a happy birthday toast to Ricky Fowler from Lexi Thompson. That was on day one. Um,
Can,
Nelly Court
can
is
you see
gonna
my
get
screen?
her Nelly Court is gonna get her shine. Yeah. I'm
So
looking at the scores and stuff.
yeah.
Um,
So I have it pulled up
let's
here. So let's
see.
let's see who we didn't see. We saw a little bit of. We saw quite a bit of Batia and Cupcho. Um,
Yep.
I saw a couple of clips of Connors and Henderson.
Yeah, because they made a surge in the end to get, top five and whatnot.
Yep.
I mean, we saw Boutier and Pavon on like day one, a little bit on day two. Didn't really see him on day three. Saw Lydia Ko and Jason Day because they're former winners.
Yep.
Did not see Lauren Coughlin and Cam Young at all.
No.
Or is that
Like I
Carson
said,
Young? My apologies.
no, no,
Is that
no,
Carson Young?
no. Let me see. Some of these changed. Yeah, Cam Young and Lauren Coughlin.
Did not see absolutely any footage from Matt Kuchar and Morgan and Megan Kang.
Which is
Um,
interesting because Megan Kang is a
a
character.
Hooper. Yeah.
So for
Did
so
not
for
see
them,
JT Poston or Maya Stark. You know what? I saw them day one, but that's about it. I saw Tagala and Corpus. I saw them day one. Then I saw Lily Avu and Luke List. I saw them day one. But other than
yeah,
that, I did not see my peoples.
yeah, it was pretty bad on the TV coverage of it. They really kept their eyes on the leading groups, and to me, that's a disservice more so to the ladies because at this point to be real with you,
Right.
a lot of these ladies we've come to know a lot more and see, like, we see Luke List every once in a while. He'll pop up on the leaderboard, but we're really more familiar with Lily Avu at this point. Again, Megan Kang
Facts.
always shows up big in the Solheim Cups, big personality, team gal, locker room gal.
Yep.
Boudier had a hell of a year last year. Pavon, new winner at the beginning of this season, which feels like it was forever ago. With him
Right.
winning in February, or was that late January at the Farmers? Either way,
Pavon, yeah, it was like late January.
forever ago. Um, yeah, my start gets some run every once in a while. Corpus, Coughlin's had a heck of a year as well. Super consistent.
Two-time winner.
Andrea Lee and Gracerman kind of finished middle of the pack, but they didn't get much TV time. Much to my dismay. We're huge Andrea Lee fans, and she's had a bit of
Right.
a
We're
resurgence this year as well.
yeah.
And then
We
yeah,
are Angelia fans for sure.
choppy Lexi Thompson swing. To be honest, man, I'm not sad about this being the end of her kind of primary playing career. I don't like how she went out. She was kind of complaining her last week or last tournament about not being able to finish on 18 and had to finish on 9. And it's just like, okay, ma'am.
Yeah,
So
main character syndrome. It's fine.
def- definitely. So anyway, um,
Think
so
she could have played a little bit better. I think that would have provided you a chance to finish on 18.
right. So moving
Just saying.
on from the Grant Thornton, in the DP World Tour world, played in South Africa again. Wasn't very good of a tournament, to be real. I didn't see a lot of
Ho
players
hum.
that, yeah, super ho hum. They were trying to push. What's the guy, the live guy from South Africa? Got him a lot of TV coverage, and
Oh, he
I'm going
won
blank.
like three times last off season or like
Right,
last. I can't believe
I
I
know.
forgot his name that fast.
I know. I'm
Jeez.
losing.
Hold up. We gonna find it
And
real quick.
it's gonna frustrate the mess out of me now.
Hold
But either
up.
way, while you look that up, Sean Norris ended up being the winner. Um,
Old man.
yeah, old man. Some other South Africans were kind of challenging, but not a lot of big names
Burmester.
that we were. Yeah, Dean Burmester. They were trying to
Dean
push him.
Burmester.
They were trying to push him super heavy on the TV coverage, and he just didn't have his best game this week. So it was like you said, ho hum is perfectly defined. I put this in the notes
Yeah.
because randomly, I think we were talking about it after the coverage last week that Alfred Dunhill gets his name mentioned or has his name attached to several tournaments, and I guess it's just the title
Yeah.
sponsor. So I put a little feature video just for our sake, because you were like, who is Alfred Dunhill? So, dude was like a tobacco salesman and then went into kind of retail, high fashion brand and just a bunch of little fancy knickknacks. So, this is really a
Wow.
culture brand in the UK. I think he ended up passing away in like 1953. But again, was the title sponsor of this week's DP World Tour event. We see his name attached to the one that they play at the old course, in multiple courses over there, quite a bit in Scotland. So Alfred Dunhill, luxury
Yeah.
brand in the UK. I learned something new this week after you said, "Who the heck is this Alfred Dunhill character that his name
Right.
keeps popping up?" So that was super cool just to look that up. Um, Kind of moving over to kind of the live news because there was handful of items from live. Hudson Swafford, we were poo pooing on him last week, but he officially has nowhere to play this coming year. So he
Poor
was a
guy.
wild card after, you know, being with Live since its inception. This was season 3 for him. Last one on the PGA Tour in 2022 on the American Express, and then left to Live right shortly thereafter. But Homeboy has really flamed out in his career, and he went to their season ending promotions event and did not do well. I think he finished last in that as well.
Mm.
The article that I had sent over said he tried to engage with the PGA Tour because I think he saw this coming and explore his past, champion status, and they were like, "No go, Bo. You just don't qualify. You have to sit out a year." And yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. GG's to
what you
my
gonna do?
man.
But the guy that ended up winning the promotions event was a gentleman named Max Lee. Never heard of him. Never
No
heard
clue.
of him. So Liv is scraping the bottom of the barrel these days, and one other notable is that Brendan Grace had a chance, but wasn't able to get the win in the promotions event. There is still a chance
Yeah.
that he could be kind of reclaimed by his countrymen from South Africa, Dean Burmester, Louis Oosthuizen, and there's one other one that I'm missing from that crew. They could make a quote unquote business case, which I think the
Hmm.
business case is that they don't have any other players right now, and you're not seeing people flocking over. So that says either people aren't interested anymore, the money isn't right, or a deal is coming at some point
Yeah.
soon with the PGA Tour. So it's interesting. Again, they're scrapping for players right now. The same thing might happen for Bubba Watson as well. He was relegated at the end of last year's live season. He didn't even participate in the
Mm.
promotions event. But again, he's the owner of his team. He could easily just promote himself and make the quote unquote business case. This is how they have it worded in
Yeah.
their bylaws. They just make it up as they go. And I want to say the biggest piece of news from Live or related to Live is Bryson DeChambeau. So he is reigniting Reebok Golf, which I didn't have that on my bingo card for the year and didn't even really know that Reebok was in the golf space. I can't
at
recall
all.
any Reebok golf shoes since we kind of started in the game in 2012. I can't remember Reebok being involved. If you're in the chat and you remember Reebok golf, let me know. I mean, I also, from the clip that they showed and the promotion with Bryson, I didn't quite love the shoe that they were putting out. The shape of it's kind of blocky. Reminds me of the old man Reeboks. The bottom is very reminiscent of a New Balance shoe, with the spikeless version and a kind of a tan brown. So it'll be interesting to see what they bring out. They partnered with his Crushers GC team as well, so they're gonna, do apparel and footwear for his team going forward,
Yeah,
which will be interesting, especially if any of the other
nothing
guys
since
have deals.
nothing since 1980s, man. I just don't know what to tell you, brother.
1980s, bro.
The last time Reebok golf was anything. So again, hence why it is not on our bingo card. Hence why it is the wildest thing that we've ever seen. Now, don't get me wrong. Shout out Jordan Rogers. I think, like he said, this is an idea that you know is a shot in the dark, and they haven't been in the golf game for a long time. So this might be the resurgence that they need. There's so many niche brands already. Malbon,
Yeah,
freaking New Balance has a shoe line. They're not even really in the golf business like that. They don't have like
a
golf
feature
apparel
athlete.
besides like t-shirts and stuff. Yeah, so this just might be an avenue for them to get in there. So yeah, I mean, I guess good on them. I mean, good luck, I guess, but nobody's really caping for Reebok in general, let alone in golf. So
Yeah,
see if
we
you
get
can
to
do something
see.
outside of the box.
So on the Crushers GC is Paul Casey, longtime Nike athlete. So it'll be
Yuck.
interesting to see him lace up some Reeboks going forward. The
Yuck.
other two players are Enrahan Lahiri. He's a usually a footjoy guy, and gosh, what's his name? Charles Howell the third. He's the other Crusher, which he also has always worn traditional golf shoes, footjoy, and
Right.
kind of more structured golf shoes. So
I
interesting
just don't know how many
re-entry.
times I have to say this, but yuck.
But yeah, like I said, we'll see. It's just Reebok has, I mean, just not been a player in the footwear game, and this is a way for them to kind of get back in there. I mean, they haven't had many feature athletes. I mean, I can think of people from the basketball side of things, but that's it, man. I think Iverson, in his heyday, and I think Shaq, the kamikazes are what I think of when I think about Reebok, coming back out. And, shout out to Tee It Up with Chris. Does a lot of Instagram stuff, a lot of shorts, and he kind of mentioned some concepts that they could reintroduce that are based on retros from Reebok. But I mean,
Right.
you can't mention or think of a shoe, excuse me, from Reebok in recent history that you checked for, right? A lot of their stuff that you care about are retros. They just have
Yeah.
not been putting out new, fresh ideas. But hey,
Yeah.
like you said, it could be an avenue, and we'll see, right? They're seeing it as an opportunity to get back in the game, some shade, some way, or fashion. So that's
Yeah.
really it from the golf world. I mean, really, the Grant Thornton, grabbed most of my attention in golf this week. And it's definitely a light week this week. I think we're back to the PNC. Couple of other random news items that are on the top of my head. We After not committing last week, we are going to see the Woods, you
Tiger and
know,
Charlie.
Tiger and Charlie are back in the PNC. So that'll be exciting. Tomorrow we have the match with
The match.
Bryson
Yeah.
Bryson versus Bryson and Kepka
Brooks.
versus Rory and Scotty, which Scotty looked scary, a couple weeks ago in the
Yeah.
Bahamas. The ball striking was still there. Saw a little clip today. I don't know if you caught it with Rory out on the practice range doing a little pro-am looking event, and said he was looking to get back at Bryson for the U.S. Open, and Bryson ribbed him saying, "You pretty much did that to yourself." So it'll be, the trash talk will be on. So I'll be tuning into that tomorrow evening, and we'll talk about it next week, or if it's super compelling, we may do an emergency live. We'll see how it goes. Um, and then I guess the last little tidbit that I saw in the news this week, really just confirmed the amounts. So Ryder Cup players, we knew the U.S. was considering compensating players. They finally locked down the amount, so they're going to get 500,000 for participating in the Ryder Cup. 300K will go to the charity of their choice. The other 200 will be paid out as a stipend. So
Yeah.
I think before they were kind of rumored at around 400K. They bumped it up. They're not going to see the full 500,000, just getting that tax write off for the charitable donation, and then 200,000 in the pocket. So Bethpage Black, they're gonna have some money to run around New York and play with. Any other random stuff from golf
What do you
that
think
you
about that?
go ahead? Oh, what do I think about it? I think it's trash.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you. That's
seeing the
stupid. Come on.
discourse online, again, the Europeans have been very adamant that they don't want to be paid. Rory has said on record he would pay to play in the Ryder
Right.
Cup.
I
So I
agree.
think it's totally different approaches, and it's honestly why I think we see the passion from the European players. I respect that. There's even a documentary that I recorded earlier that was off
La
on Golf
Famiglia.
Channel. Yeah, so I'm gonna check that out. It was like 2 hours, so I didn't have the attention span to try to catch it this afternoon. So probably this weekend. Oh, something's playing. Hold on, real quick. So yeah, I'm interested to see how that, because it just talks about the European side mainly.
Yeah.
So anyhow, what else you got?
Oh, Cowboys suck. I don't know why these new interviews are coming out about bringing back McCarthy and bringing back Zimmer. We need a rehash, bro. We need somebody with some nuts. I don't know why they let Bill Belichick sign with North Carolina, of all teams, of all organizations, of all
I
programs.
I mean the comments that I heard from Belichick is that he's tired of the politics and BS in the NFL game.
I
Which, I
did
mean,
see
I get
that.
it. I get it. I mean,
Yeah.
I totally understand that, and that definitely would not have been different coming to the Cowboys. So,
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Mike McCarthy, I don't know who he inspires, but
Yeah,
yeah.
they're bringing they're reasoning it by the Cowboys were never healthy this season, so that's why Mike McCarthy deserves another year. Exactly, stale face. The face you gave right then with the pursed lips is all I have to say. Because ain't
Because bro,
no
look,
fucking
look.
way.
I know it's late in the season, but you can look at the Detroit
Uh,
Lions. They have 20 players on the IR right now, and
12-2.
they're figuring it out, right? Next man up. We know that's the football mentality. Next man up. You got a spot in the NFL. Go earn it. Go play for it. You're being paid. So when you're given the opportunity to put a helmet on, go play. So
Yep,
the injury things happen for every team. So I don't
every
really
team.
care about any of that. The excuses. The fact that Cooper Rush is probably playing better than we saw from Dak and his short stint this year. I'm so down on. I mean, I've never been. I'm a realistic Cowboys fan. I'm not someone who's like, oh, it's our year. I don't say that because you
Yeah,
go 30 years without winning. This is who you are as an organization. I mean,
yeah,
so I don't know. Blow the whole damn thing up. It's bad at this point. Stop. The championship is not close. So just blow it up. I really think that as we have a video that I posted earlier in the year that before Dak started losing that the contract was a mistake. You should have just let him walk, let some other team pay him, start fresh. We've seen young quarterbacks get adjusted and get out here and play this game. You just need the right coach to
Yeah,
make it happen. So, um,
agreed.
Mavs went out in
Yeah, shout out my Mavs.
what are they calling it? It's not the in season tournament. There's an official name for it.
The Emirates NBA Cup this year.
Okay, it's
That's their
getting.
sponsor.
I get all the corporate stuff, but apparently the market did not like the market did not like who played and who made it to the championship. The ratings were definitely down. They finish it out tomorrow, right?
Tuesday night. Yep, that's the final.
We're we're gonna see the Rockets, and who are they playing against? The Knicks.
The, the Bucks.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. Yeah,
Hey,
it's the Bucks and the Thunder.
okay. I can get with the Thunder. That might not be bad. Jack, I wouldn't mind mixing getting the event in the summer. The downside I think of getting having the Grant Thornton type event in the summer is that TV coverage, or not coverage, but ratings are down in the summer. Unfortunately for golf, people are out playing golf. I mean, I'll be
Yeah,
real. Like,
baseball's going on.
yeah,
There's a
you're
lot of different
competing.
vacation and traveling. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's tough.
I mean, like even for us, like I can tell, like in the summer, running,
We don't be
putting up
watching.
video, like even putting up videos in the summer on the YouTube channel, get very little, burn. So that's all. I mean, weather wise, I would love it, but it's just you don't get a lot of eyes on it. So thanks, Mom. Bucks versus OKC. Um,
Yeah, but what the like? Okay, so y'all don't like the ratings are bad for the NBA if the Bucks and Thunder play together. Okay, what do y'all do if it's if it's the Knicks and the Knicks and the Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals, and then it's the Rockets and the Thunder in the Western Conference Finals, and then all of a sudden we have Hawks Rockets for the NBA Finals. What are y'all gonna do now? If y'all are
we'll see.
basketball fans, y'all are basketball fans.
Hey, I get what you're saying, but casuals are what drive the market. So, I've been seeing a lot more, you know, RIP upcoming to TikTok, but I've been seeing a lot of
Man,
commentary about how the way that sports leagues are written is that they're entertainment, and that some of those creative whistles and calls that we see on the NFL, I think we're going to see if challenge that from the NBA perspective. And while there are a lot of small or mid market teams in the NBA that are really good, at the end of the day, the big markets are what drive the TV ratings. Having your LAs, your New Yorks in the finals are what drives the numbers. So we'll see.
yeah, I don't think they need to make a fundamental change, Jack. But I do think, well, I'm just echoing what Rod said. They absolutely need to have big market teams in. Unfortunately, whether that be the Clippers, the Lakers, um, the Knicks, the Celtics, all of the old town teams, even like a Miami or something, they love that shit.
I
I
have a
don't know.
change. I think ratings are down because of the three ball. I
Because of the what?
the three ball is too many threes being tossed up these
Well,
days.
I think it's too many threes being tossed up because idiots think that they like, oh, so yeah, okay, so yeah, 3-point shots, but really analytics. Mo People are
Yeah,
okay. I mean, golly, the analytics is stupid to me. Lord
I
Jesus,
know.
man.
Like I blame Daryl Morey for doing this to the NBA a few years
Really?
ago.
No, truly. Because
Him and who's the coach that they had? Mike D'Antoni have
yeah,
ruined. Here's my way out of the box. Um, idea for the 3-point line. This is
Making
crazy.
threes, mom. Making three. Made threes. Made threes, mom.
Made threes is the record. Here's my idea. Push the 3-point line further back. Take it back 3 more feet. Eliminate the corner three. Cause literally, I get tired of seeing this guys catching in the corner, taking that weird
Spotted
half
up.
step back, or even the half step back and stepping out of line, out of bounds.
Yeah. Hmm.
Eliminate the corner three. Literally push the line back. It cuts off at the whatever the edge of the court is. Corner threes
The
go away.
45.
Yes, it goes away. And you anything inside of that, you were shooting a two ball. That's
Yeah.
my
I,
radical idea to fix the overabundance of 3-point shooting, right?
yeah.
I
Yeah.
it's bad.
I think when you have guys, again, when you have guys like, this is just recency bias, but when you have elite scorers like Luca, SGA, and Kyrie that can get to the midi and are shooting step back middies, the one-legged fadeaways, stuff like that, you have got to let that go. You have got to let that incorporate back into the offense. We want to see that. We want to see the
I
ISO ball.
I love seeing a good mid range pull up, bro. So that guy
It,
that
that takes more. That takes
it takes
more
skill.
finesse, more talent, more skill to be able to pull up on the drop of a dime, rise up, and still be able to fire a shot and still be able to control distance, trajectory, stuff like that. If I'm going off glass from the 45, if I'm going top of the key, stuff like that. I mean,
You know,
I mean, prime
prime
example:
prime
Giannis cannot shoot mid-range shots.
right. Right. Here's my golden era of basketball was like when Dominique Wilkins was out there pulling up mid range, taking like you said, taking it off the glass at 45. That guy sent you on TikTok showing players from the 80s and 90s. When
Yeah,
I'm seeing that basketball, it's the ball movement is incredible. Screens being set, offense being ran. It's legit. And the isolations are very organic back in the day. So I'm gonna pull this up and then I gotta run. Um, Here's an interesting idea. Limit the amount of threes a team can take in a game. They could save them for the important moments. That is an idea. It's kind of like 20-second timeouts in the NBA, right? You only have
yeah,
so many of them, and yeah, use them for the end of the game. But I think the downside of that might be it. We might have more lopsided games. Who knows, right? But I
yeah,
think the current path that we're on is rough, and I think it leads to very boring basketball. We're seeing bad isolation, right? It's like when we
yeah.
see
We're seeing a lot
uh
of we're seeing a lot of like just hooked up shots. Like, I mean, just oh my god,
yeah,
it's so bad, Rod.
yeah. It's bad.
Oh,
And bad ISOs where it's just the rebounder if he's a ball handler taking it down and shooting a pull-up three. That's just bad basketball, man. We're not
right.
seeing anybody initiating, offense. Hell, I was watching, the game last night kind of from my phone, not just watching the scoreboard at the top of it. And the halftime score was ridiculous. I think it was like 81-74 at halftime. I said,
Yep.
damn, there's not been, I know, I get it. There's threes being made, but there's also not a lick of defense being played either for it to
Yeah.
get to that point. I agree with this. This, you can
One
trace this
thousand
back
percent.
to, that sucks for fans. You show up and the star player is not playing. Started with Kawhi years ago, even though he seems like he has a chronic issue. But that whole, you know, freaking, player management, minutes management.
What?
Okay. All right. Whatever that one means.
Ryan,
Stars,
everything okay
brain
over there?
scans. Okay. Okay, Jack. We got a little beef in the. All right, y'all. I literally have to run. Why are you guys reading this dumbass text comments? Getting a little rowdy out there today. Hey, y'all. Bearded Bros Golf Show. If you are not subscribed, we talk clearly everything. Golf is our main love here, but we're hoopers at heart. It's our first love. Love a little bit of football. Check us out. Hit that subscribe button. We're back here every Sunday and Monday, and or Monday, I should say, just depending on how schedules work out. Um, check us out. So, Bearded Bros Golf Show. I'm Rod.
Marcus.
We'll catch y'all next week.